calling all COBOL programmers. Hi, everybody. Roby here for TechRepublic with Esther Shein. Thanks for being with us today, Esther. And who would have thought that a decades-old programming language would be this much on the forefront here of the minds of those who are trying to get things in order to file unemployment claims. And we are looking for those people who may be skilled in this arena. Let's start with just COBOL, the language of itself first, talk a little bit about that, and then we'll get into why these programmers are so needed right now.
Sure. So COBOL has been around, for about 60 years, and it was one of the first, if not the first, programming languages for those huge mainframe computers that you may have thought are no longer around, but they actually are. They are still the common platform for running government systems like motor vehicle registration, real estate tax, income tax. And of course, right now they're in the spotlight because a lot of states' unemployment systems run on a mainframe using COBOL. And we have a tremendous spike in unemployment claims being filed right now due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So programmers who know COBOL are in desperate need right now, which is pretty interesting. I also read a report that by Reuters that found that there are still 220 billion lines of COBOL in use today, which is pretty stunning, and that 43% of banking systems are built on COBOL, and 95% of ATM swipes rely on COBOL code. So just let that sink in for a minute. COBOL is still very much alive and well, as are the mainframes they run on.
Yeah, I think that would shock people, Esther. You know, we talk about Python and all of these languages that are, the top languages, the hot languages. So often we're talking about them here on TechRepublic and ZDNet. And if you're, in school or looking to make a transition, and these are the languages you should look towards. But it's crazy to think that actually so much of our infrastructure involves COBOL, yet people aren't learning the language anymore.
Right. And I had an interesting conversation with an analyst from IDC, and he said that even as desperate as states are to find programmers to help with the tremendous uptick in unemployment claims processing that they're looking for, he feels that that's not what the real problem is. He feels that modern mainframes are highly scalable, and getting more throughput is usually just a matter of paying to turn on more CPUs. But the problem is that states have had to make specific changes to these current applications they're using to accommodate the changes related to the unemployment process driven by the federal government's response to the crisis and the individuals who are affected by it. So surprisingly, COBOL skills are still maintained in the industry simply because state government, federal government, even large enterprises continue to have mainframes and COBOL applications to maintain. You won't find many COBOL developers anymore because it's not their preferred language. It's antiquated, and most do the maintenance of COBOL applications because they have to, not because they necessarily want to. And a problem that state governments face is that the chances are pretty good they don't have the deep bench of professional developers that a large enterprise would have. And as a result, they haven't been able to replace COBOL programmers who have retired or build those skills across less senior employees. Yes, you can find consulting firms and offshoring services that will do development work in COBOL, but that's not going to help out states in the next week or so.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. Time is of the essence, obviously, Esther, as we're trying to get these millions of claims processed across all of this state. So, what can we do about it? How do we get people that are possibly in retirement to come back and help out? What can happen from here in a short amount of time?
Sure. Um, IBM and the Linux Foundation, I know, have teamed up on a free training course this week. So they're teaching the 60-year-old programming language to coders. They've also launched a forum where people who have knowledge of COBOL can be matched with companies and state governments that are in need of help maintaining their critical systems. Some of these positions are paying, and of course, I believe the states are looking for volunteers to help right now, given how critical the need is with this unprecedented surge in people being laid off and having to file for unemployment benefits. And then IBM has also got some COBOL training material, and I know that I think in a few weeks they're going to be launching a series of videos on platforms like Coursera. And they've got this talent match portal that's also being used to match programmers with companies and government organizations that need their help.
Excellent. So really, they're just like a lot of things right now, asking American people to do what they can, step up in whatever way that they can. And certainly, this is a very niche area that they need people to come forward and say, "Yes, I can help," and put my knowledge to work here. So really, an interesting thing here. And I know the great thing is, Esther, you've put together two great articles that explain the situation with COBOL and what's being done with the programs with IBM and things like that, and also have included some links there as well that people
Yes.
can go to. So that's a great resource.
Yeah, so I would just say that, if you are a programmer and you're retired, or, you have some semblance of COBOL skills and maybe you feel you don't know enough, that's not an issue. You are wanted. You are still relevant. And if you're willing, there are plenty of people who could use your help right now.
Most definitely. All right. Very well said. Well, Esther, we appreciate it very much. And your articles here, links, all of that, of course, can be found on TechRepublic. We hope all of you guys will check it out. And we certainly appreciate you watching.